Hello everyone. Russia called the Crimea Bridge unbreakable, but Ukraine just proved them wrong. One strike caused chaos, halted traffic, and shook Moscow's control. Today, we reveal exactly how Ukraine crippled this so-called invincible bridge and the massive consequences it left behind. Stay tuned. This is a story you can't miss. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most shocking events of the ongoing conflict. How Ukraine managed to cripple Russia's unbreakable Crimea Bridge. This bridge was not just a structure. It was a symbol of Russia's power, connecting the Crimean Peninsula to the Russian mainland. Built with immense investment and claimed to be indestructible, it played a crucial role in military logistics, civilian transport, and maintaining control over Crimea. The bridge carried thousands of vehicles daily, including military equipment, food supplies, and critical infrastructure materials. Its strategic significance meant that any disruption would be a major blow to Russia's operations and morale. Ukraine, understanding the importance of this bridge, executed a highly calculated strike aimed at exposing its vulnerabilities. The strike created chaos and halted traffic, revealing that even the most fortified structures have weaknesses. In this video, we will break down the timeline of the attack, the methods used, the immediate impacts on logistics, and the broader geopolitical consequences. We will analyze the engineering behind the bridge, the strategic planning of the strike, and how this single operation challenged the narrative of invincibility. By the end, you'll understand how a carefully targeted action changed the dynamics in Crimea, creating ripple effects far beyond the bridge itself. After the introduction, it's important to understand the strategic context of the Crimea Bridge. The bridge spans the Kerch Strait and serves as the main supply route between Russia and Crimea. Its construction began in 2016 and was completed in 2018, with Russia claiming it as a marvel of engineering. The bridge is nearly 19 kilometers long, with both road and rail sections, designed to withstand harsh weather, high traffic, and even military operations. For Russia, it was more than infrastructure. It was a symbol of dominance over Crimea. Ukraine, aware of the bridge's significance, monitored it closely. The strike that later disrupted it was not a random act, but a calculated operation aimed at targeting logistics and sending a strong message. Analysts believe the operation involved careful reconnaissance, selection of vulnerable points, and precise timing to maximize disruption. The immediate impact was severe road and rail traffic were halted, military convoys were delayed, and civilian movement was interrupted. Beyond the immediate chaos, the operation highlighted vulnerabilities in what Russia promoted as unbreakable. It also demonstrated Ukraine's growing operational capability and intelligence reach. The strike, although limited in physical damage, had psychological and strategic effects, forcing Russia to divert resources for repairs and security, while increasing pressure on their logistical planning. This event changed perceptions, proving that no infrastructure, however fortified, is completely safe. The engineering of the Crimea Bridge played a role in both its construction and its vulnerabilities. The bridge was designed to carry heavy road traffic and rail cargo simultaneously, supported by reinforced concrete pillars that extend deep into the seabed. Its design aimed to resist storms, ice, and even minor attacks. However, every structure has weak points, particularly in expansion joints, support pylons, and sections where maintenance access is limited. Ukraine's operation reportedly focused on these areas. By targeting specific sections and timing the strike to coincide with high traffic periods, the attackers created maximum disruption without needing to demolish the entire bridge. Observers noted that the impact was both physical and logistical. Vehicles were stranded, rail schedules were thrown into chaos, and maintenance crews faced immediate challenges in assessing damage. Strategically, this forced Russia to reconsider the security and redundancy of its transport network. Moreover, the bridge's disruption highlighted the importance of contingency planning for critical infrastructure in conflict zones. This event served as a reminder that even the most heavily guarded assets are not immune to precision strikes. For analysts, it became a case study in combining intelligence, engineering knowledge, and timing to achieve disproportionate effects. Ukraine's operation was not just a tactical move, but a strategic statement, demonstrating that careful planning and precise execution can challenge larger, seemingly invincible forces. The immediate consequences of the strike were dramatic. Traffic on the bridge stopped almost entirely, affecting both civilian and military movement. Trucks carrying supplies, military vehicles, and fuel were stranded, forcing Russia to reroute operations and logistics through longer, less secure pathways. This disruption revealed the bridge's critical role in maintaining control over Crimea. In addition to logistical delays, the psychological impact on Russian forces and leadership was significant. Propaganda portraying the bridge as unbreakable was undermined, and the strike became a symbol of vulnerability. Ukrainian authorities leveraged the operation to showcase strategic capability, while international observers highlighted the bridge's partial vulnerability despite its reputation. Economically, the halt in transport caused delays in delivery of essential goods, affecting local populations in Crimea and nearby Russian regions. Emergency repair crews had to act quickly to prevent further complications, diverting resources and personnel from other priorities. The strike also forced Russian engineers to conduct detailed inspections, revealing potential weaknesses that required immediate attention. Overall, the event demonstrated the ripple effect a single, planned operation could have on military logistics, civilian life, and national morale. It reinforced the importance of protecting critical infrastructure and the consequences of underestimating an opponent's operational capabilities. By halting movement for days, Ukraine proved that even heavily fortified structures could be disrupted with precision. The media coverage of the strike amplified its impact. Both local and international outlets reported on the temporary disruption, using phrases like "unbreakable bridge damaged" and "logistical nightmare for Russia." Social media quickly spread images and videos of halted traffic, damaged sections, and repair crews at work. Analysts emphasized the strategic implications rather than just physical damage, framing the strike as a symbolic victory for Ukraine. The narrative focused on how a small, precise action could create widespread effects, challenging the perception of invincibility often associated with Russia's infrastructure. Experts in military logistics noted that the strike forced rapid adjustments in supply chains, highlighting vulnerabilities in planning. The bridge's temporary halt became a case study in asymmetric strategies, showing how a smaller force could achieve disproportionate results. For the public, images of halted vehicles and construction crews created a powerful visual message, reinforcing Ukraine's narrative of operational capability. At the same time, Russian media tried to downplay the impact, emphasizing repair work and resilience. This contrast in coverage demonstrated the importance of media framing in modern conflicts. The incident, while limited in material destruction, achieved a significant psychological and strategic impact. By combining engineering knowledge, intelligence, and timing, Ukraine turned a single strike into a broader statement about capability, resilience, and the vulnerability of even the most unbreakable assets. The geopolitical consequences of the bridge strike extended beyond logistics. Crimea's strategic importance lies in its position on the Black Sea and its symbolic status for Russia. Disruption of the bridge demonstrated that Ukraine could influence control over the region without a full-scale ground operation. Internationally, analysts debated the implications for regional security, supply chains, and future infrastructure projects. Some argued that the event signaled Ukraine's ability to challenge Russia's strategic assets, while others warned that escalation could provoke harsher responses. Within Russia, the strike forced military planners to reassess priorities, allocate additional resources to infrastructure protection, and reconsider contingency measures for critical supply routes. The strike also sent a message to other nations watching the conflict: precision strikes can achieve strategic effects beyond mere physical damage. Economically, the disruption highlighted vulnerabilities in trade and transport networks dependent on single points of access. Political leaders, both domestic and international, took note of the event's symbolic significance, as the bridge represented not only logistical connectivity, but also national pride. Ukraine's operation, while limited in scope, demonstrated how modern conflicts can leverage intelligence, engineering, and timing to create outsized effects. The strike's consequences underscore the importance of resilience, contingency planning, and awareness of potential weak points in high-value infrastructure. From a military perspective, the strike provided valuable lessons in operational planning. Ukraine demonstrated that knowledge of an opponent's infrastructure, combined with precise timing and execution, can yield high-impact results. The operation likely involved satellite reconnaissance, surveillance, and selection of vulnerable points. By targeting key sections rather than attempting total destruction, Ukraine minimized risk while maximizing disruption. Military analysts highlighted that such operations reduced the opponent's confidence and forced them to redistribute resources, diverting attention from other areas. Additionally, the strike emphasized the value of psychological impact in modern warfare. The symbolic nature of the bridge, touted as unbreakable, made its temporary disablement a powerful message. Commanders studying the event noted that controlling perception is as important as controlling terrain, and that a well-planned strike can achieve both objectives simultaneously. Furthermore, the operation reinforced the concept of asymmetric tactics, where a smaller or weaker force can create significant effects without engaging in large-scale confrontations. Ukraine's strategy showcased intelligence gathering, engineering expertise, and operational precision, proving that strategic planning can overcome material disadvantages. Lessons learned from this strike are likely to influence future military operations, both in the region and globally, as analysts and strategists evaluate the implications for infrastructure security, logistics planning, and psychological operations in conflict scenarios. The engineering and repair teams faced immediate challenges after the strike. Russia had to mobilize emergency crews to assess damage, reinforce affected sections, and restore traffic flow. The bridge's construction included multiple redundancies, which helped prevent total collapse. But the strike exposed weak points in load, bearing areas, and maintenance accessibility. Engineers had to quickly calculate stress distribution, inspect pillars, and ensure structural stability under both road and rail traffic. The process required careful coordination, specialized equipment, and round-the-clock efforts. Logistical delays were unavoidable, highlighting the bridge's role as a critical supply artery. Beyond technical challenges, the event had operational implications for Russia's military and civilian planners. Resources were diverted to manage repairs, security, and alternative transport routes. The strike demonstrated that even sophisticated infrastructure is susceptible to disruption, especially when the attacker understands vulnerabilities and timing. Analysts emphasized that strategic targets must be continuously assessed for weak points, and contingency plans should be in place to reduce operational risk. Ukraine's success, although limited in physical destruction, underscored the importance of precision, planning, and intelligence in modern conflicts. The strike forced Russia to rethink defensive measures and infrastructure design, while signaling to the world that even heavily fortified structures are not invulnerable. It was a strategic reminder that foresight and preparation are essential for maintaining control over critical assets. The broader implications of the strike extend into strategic communication and public perception. Ukraine leveraged the event to showcase operational capability and precision, while Russia faced pressure to restore confidence in its infrastructure. The incident became a talking point in international media, emphasizing the bridge's vulnerabilities and the limits of heavily fortified constructions. Analysts noted that symbolic victories, even with minimal physical damage, can shift perceptions, influence morale, and impact decision-making. The strike illustrated that modern conflicts are not only about territory or destruction, but also about information, symbolism, and perception management. Politically, the event underscored the significance of controlling narratives. Ukraine highlighted its ability to challenge Russian dominance and protect strategic interests, while Russia had to reassure domestic audiences that essential infrastructure remained functional. Economically, even temporary disruptions affected transport schedules, deliveries, and planning. Strategists around the world observed the operation, noting lessons in asymmetric tactics, precision targeting, and the power of psychological impact. Overall, the strike reinforced that infrastructure is both a physical asset and a symbol of power. Its temporary disablement had far-reaching consequences for logistics, morale, and international perception. The Crimea Bridge strike became an example of how carefully executed operations can create disproportionate effects, demonstrating that strategy, intelligence, and timing can outweigh brute force in modern warfare scenarios. In conclusion, the strike on the Crimea Bridge demonstrates that no structure, no matter how heavily fortified, is completely invulnerable. Ukraine's operation showcased the power of intelligence, precision, and planning. The disruption had immediate effects on logistics, delayed critical supplies, and forced Russian engineers and military planners to react quickly. Beyond physical damage, the event had strategic and symbolic implications, challenging the narrative of invincibility and proving that careful, well-executed actions can have outsized effects. Analysts, military experts, and international observers noted the significance of this strike, both as a tactical success and as a psychological victory. It serves as a reminder that asymmetric strategies can shift the balance even in conflicts involving larger, more powerful forces. For viewers, the bridge's disruption highlights the importance of analyzing infrastructure, logistics, and vulnerabilities in understanding modern conflicts. If you found this video insightful and want more detailed analysis of military operations, strategic strikes, and global conflict updates, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest developments and expert breakdowns. Your support helps us continue delivering in-depth analysis and factual reporting. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next video, where we will explore more critical events shaping the world today.